This season of Girl Talk is proudly sponsored by Highway Vision. With digital camera editing, small production and format transfers, let Highway Vision put you in the picture.
Friend Katie and I went to a poetry reading here for Midsummer the other day. As we were leaving, Katie said, "You know what's wrong with Melbourne lesbian poetry? It's all frontal, all slick, licky, tremendous pendulous breasts flapping on your face or perky little ones with their sporting messages. There's just not enough rear end," she said. "There's not enough asshole in Melbourne lesbian poetry." Like it's something you can generalise about. So I did a quick survey of my ex-girlfriend. She's in Sydney now, hopefully getting plenty. I could for hours, nothing sweeter, nothing saner. This morning she tried to describe the feeling. Fuzzy. It makes me fuzzy. It stops my brain from working. Frilly, she said. She used to want to decorate her asshole with tulle, frills around the asshole. I asked someone else about it this afternoon. The suggestion was that we create a new passage that goes right through the vagina, straight up the anal canal, and out into the open air.
But today I want to talk about a little dream of mine, because I think there's room for little dreams as well. You see, I'm 25, unemployed but independent, unless you count the dole, which I don't, at least until I've accrued 10% of a politician's pension or John Howard does some telemarketing. I'm out to my siblings, except for the youngest. I'm out to my friends, and I'm relatively publicly involved in queer activism, at least on campuses. But I'm not out to my parents. And that's one of the things that I made a resolution about this year. My little dream is what I'd like to tell my parents. Mum, Dad, I'm not heterosexual. I don't think you are either. I know you've lived heterosexual lives, but I don't think you had any choice. That probably sounds patronising, but think about it. Opportunity, knowledge, support, space, freedom. You need all of this and it's still not easy. So I understand why you are, and while I don't think you can't change, I'll accept your decision if you don't want to try. It's just I've had choice. Maybe the high school programming didn't work the way it should have. Maybe going through a born-again religious experience and coming out the other side, and on the other side, made me question other articles of faith. Somehow I never properly learnt to organise people into two genders and always picked the opposite one every time I felt horny or wanted to love somebody or wanted to feel in love or fell in love. Like I do with my current partner. Yes, she's a woman, but not to me. I don't love her like that, as a woman. That seems sad to me, to love someone who fits a type with your love wrapped up in how they fit that type. Like loving someone because they're so differently ethnic. Am I bisexual? Once I would have said yes, but I'm understanding more now. See, when the notion of the homosexual was created in the 19th century, it was to locate everything gay with a specific disorder so that the default human could be completely straight, like saying certain people are coffee people rather than accepting everyone, or almost everyone, could develop a taste for it. Now, bisexuality, or not fitting into the strict requirements of heterosexuality or homosexuality, is also talked about as a condition. A really rare one too, and I'm meant to have it. But that's someone else's agenda talking here. And that's the last page that I dropped. I've been around. Hardly anybody fits. And those who do, like yourselves, haven't had much choice, have you? Now maybe more people fit that I haven't met. And maybe, remarkably, social policing doesn't explain that away. But there's so many of us who don't fit or don't completely fit that to have the category of bisexual as some little blip on the sexual radar is a scam. It's a scam in order to cover up the lies in sex ed. It's a scam to protect the illusion of mass heterosexuality, to keep gays in the ghettos and straights in power and homophobes happy. So I'm not bisexual, Mum and Dad. I'm disobedient. But if you could deal with that regarding the other ways I disobey, hopefully you can deal with this. And if you can deal with this, then maybe I'll tell you about my shoplifting. Sadly, what I'll probably tell my parents is, Mum, Dad, I'm bisexual.
So, what pisses me off? Sexism, racism, hatred, bigotry, HIV, AIDS, GST, little Johnny Howard, discrimination, violence, and more isms and all the things in the world there seem to be in abundance of. But what about closer to home and things that some of us are more familiar with, right here in our GLBT community, with all its complexities? I think this community does some amazing stuff, and folk who have a queer streak have sampled some of the wares that our community has to offer. And I don't just mean picking up a on a Saturday night. I mean, have you gone and seen a film at the Queer Film Festival, rung up Switchboard with a coming out issue, strolled arm in arm on Carnival Day with your partner, the only day you might have held your lover's hand in public, flicked past bent TV and found yourself watching footage from the last street party, woken up with a morning glory listening to Joy Melbourne, cheered yourself hoarse while you watched the wonderful Nan McGregor march proudly by with P-flag at the Pride March, laughed and cried with Vanessa Wagner at a PLWHA treatments forum, dropped into the VAC to buy a new pump pack of lube, gone to a rights lobby meet and greet, checked out a girl in a frock at a Fruits and Suits, dreamt of becoming a dyke on bike, or danced with 6,000 of your closest and dearest friends at an also party at the docks. These are just to name a few of my very favourite things that one can do to take pride and pleasure in your sexuality. So why do we not support the community? Nothing shits me more than the struggles that each of these community groups face each day to exist and maintain the level of services that you now expect and on the whole deserve. But in this large city, you try and get a bunch of people to go to a fundraising event, be it a trivia night, film night, cabaret night, dance party, etc., etc., with a never you mind for the work, money, dedication, grief and tears that might have gone into that event. Someone's passion for the community held up for scrutiny and pissed on. Bearing in mind all that I have said, I have been a volunteer within this community for about 7 years, and I still can't work out what's going on and why it is like a horrible schoolyard that's full of bullies. The level of bitchiness and hatred is astounding, and sometimes I think it's not the enemy outside that we have to worry about, but the enemy within. Just recently, there have been 2 new queer news sites that have been set up in the last 6 months in response to the change in media ownership of the gay press. Unfortunately, they have become a medium for the most horrible and destructive hate mail that I've ever seen. Both also on Midsummer as community groups have copped it. But worse than that, those individuals who work and volunteer with these groups have been dumped on. I happen to think that we're better than the average. Don't quote me, but I do hold high hopes for our future. But this shit has really floored me. I thought I could only get bashed on the streets, but not anymore. I just need to turn my computer on and read horrific examples of homophobia. And not just dished out by the heterosexual community, not 3AW, not the local neo-Nazi group, but people that I may have shared a smile with across the dance floor, or chatted to while I had waited for a drink at the bar, or even thought they were cute as they strutted off to the toilet. As I carry on here, you might have thought that I copped it. Not yet, but no doubt if any of them are here, I will read about it in the morning. Mind you, my hackles did rise when I read a promo for this in the local, where I was described as a power dyke. Not slightly ageing community girl about town, not funky, hip, sexy glamour butch. No, just power dyke. Any lesbian that does some stuff for the community gets a horrible title like this. I've been getting it for years. Don't think I've ever seen Powerpuff though. Just in it for the power and nothing else. How dismissive is that? I must admit, I've often thought to myself, why do I fucking bother? Well, I fucking bother because in the time I've lived in Melbourne and have been involved in this community, it has been an incredibly enriching and rewarding time of my life. The gay and lesbian, bisexual, transgender community has given me friends that I love and admire intensely, colleagues, peers and networks that I've learnt from and respected for their integrity and passion, adventures and experiences that I will never forget, and a home and a family. And I say, what more can you ask for? Thank you.
Many people criticise utopians as being impractical, but our cultural imagination isn't that good. Running water, electricity and telephone were utopian dreams not long ago. We need to realise that we aren't that imaginative. Most of our dreams are fairly easily achieved, but we need to have the mindset of many tribal cultures that says, dream it, then do it. I'd like to share with you a dream of mine. I dream of justice and no child in hunger. I dream of rich soils, pure air and clean water, a world with no greed nor violence nor fear, where all and every are fed, bedded, housed, well led and well read. Blue, fluffy, white clouded skies, leafy red and yellow flowered trees, vivacious, wavy, blue-green seas, passionate trust, new ideas, dissident views, listen, debate and change together. So dream with me dreams of incredible worlds. We'll redraw the map to show all utopia, set sail for her shores and grow strong and give love. Then dream to make these dreams come true and do. And climb the high hill and see new dreams of utopian lands. Again redraw the map to show all utopia, set sail for newer shores and grow strong and give love. Then dream, oh dream, to make these dreams come true and do, really do. Utopia now.
Continues to grow. I mean, the same as our community continues to grow, so too does the festival.
Like a little child that we've nurtured and now it's just starting to run, do you think? Or
it's growing up. I mean, it's 12, starting high school.
That's right.
It'll be another couple of years, it'll be legal.
This season of Girl Talk is proudly sponsored by Highway Vision. With digital camera editing, small production and format transfers, let Highway Vision put you in the picture.